Hello everybody. I did start a couple of videos today and they didn't really go as planned. One of them involved me screwing up a few days of work, and the other one involved me cutting my finger on a bandsaw. Both of the accidents happened with the bandsaw, so I think that it's fair to say the bandsaw needs a setup. It also needs some concentration. Obviously I don't have enough to do. So I'm back to using handsaw for some fret slotting, and I'm very much enjoying it. I really do prefer using hand tools. A lot less can go wrong. You're in a lot more control. And although power tools can make things quicker, they can also make things just not as good in many ways. So I'm cutting some fret slots on a one-piece bird's eye maple neck that I'm building for a very nice guy called Ian, who has a Fiesta Red Hank Marvin style strap, and that's what we're doing. So where we're at the moment, we have tuner holes drilled, we have the headstock cut away, almost thicknessed, nearly at the right thickness. We need to cut the fret slots just as a rough guide, and then I'm going to radius the board. The reason I radius the board is because I have all of the frets marked out. I radius the board after, because I have the frets all marked out. I don't want them to be sanded away, so I make the first cut, and then I come back after the radius is done and just perfect the cut. What else after that? And then we're going to carving, and then we're going to start looking at finishing the neck and fitting it to the body. So hope you've all been well. I haven't posted a video for a while because my archaic iPhone 7 was completely full of guitar videos and pictures, and it wouldn't work anymore for this sort of stuff. So I'm back to making my terribly boring videos on a very new iPhone 11 Pro Max. Documentary quality. I can't think of a single one-liner there. Very good quality and then questionable content is what I was getting to. But of course, you're here, so of course, dear viewer, not so questionable. Got a lot of interesting projects coming up. We've just released a paisley strap with a really nice black nitro finish on it. I was going to do a video on that yesterday when I was setting it up, but I wasn't really in the right mood. I was very busy with that setup because the neck didn't want to behave, and it was only till this morning when it came to be collected to be sent away that I won my battle with the neck. And it's a great build. The pickups are incredible. House of Tone, if you haven't heard those pickups before and you're looking for a set of pickups, House of Tone are amazing. Really, really, really great. I'm looking to do more work with hand tools. I've sort of improved my workshop to the point where I have a few power tools that are really helpful for big jobs, like the bandsaw, when you need to cut a neck blank or something like that, or a body blank. It's essential. There's not really another way of doing it. And the same for my pillar drill, just in the background there. It's amazing because I can really quickly cut very straight, drill very straight holes and so on, and there's other uses for it too. Like I've just bought the Stumac planer, safety planer they call it, to do like basic thicknessing, which is very cool. I haven't used it yet, but and I've also got a planer thicknesser that I'm trying to set up in the background somewhere, which hopefully will be able to make boards and necks and fretboards the right thickness almost straight away, which will be great. I'm really looking forward to being able to use that. But for the rest of this stuff, just a lot of things, just hand tools are way better. I like doing everything by hand, maybe with the Dremel sometimes, but mostly like this. I'm just feeling really down because I used my bandsaw earlier, and I'm like, oh, this is my record power, huge bandsaw, and it's great, and I just spent loads of money on it that I don't really have, that I do have, was invested in me. And I made a cut and it was just terrible, and the cut ruined the whole piece. I'll show you. It's really depressing. It's a disaster. But, it happened. Here it is. So, the neck was cut out, routed. We had lots of chip out on one section. I repaired and remedied it all, and we're ready to move on to binding and blocks, inlays and stuff. It was all getting really exciting. Had the truss rod in there, everything's going great. And then I just went to cut the thickness of the headstock, and I'm looking down at it like from here, and not realizing that because it wasn't completely straight, even though I was really trying my hardest to keep it straight, it's wandered way off into the piece. Yeah, there you can see. So, for a new neck that somebody's spending £300 on, you don't want to fill it with dust and glue and make it look acceptable. You want it to look amazing from the start. And, maybe I could save it, but the other thing was that the thickness at this point, for some reason, if you can see there, I have a straight here, but the thickness gets way less. It's about from here to here, it's about 1.5 mil difference. I don't know if you can see that, which is really bad. My bandsaw just really needs a set up, and I should have just been on that. I've just been so busy that I got a new bandsaw, and I was just like, oh, it will work great, and knowing deep down that it probably wouldn't, and I need to set it up. So, to cut a long story short, I should have used the handsaw, because it wouldn't have even been a very big cut to take a long time or anything like that. But then there's 3 days of work and routing and all sorts of gluing out the window. But the good thing about it is, and this is the really good thing, is that we were making this fancy neck, and blocks and binding obviously makes it quite an expensive neck. You can't buy a Fender neck with blocks and binding for, I don't know, for what I was charging, but mine's hand finished and not made on a CNC. But now I'm going to just use flame maple, because I have some, I had some spare as a sample that I bought, and now that nice neck that's going to Germany for a very nice dude who is running a powder coating, and I think he's also doing some pedals and things like that. A guy called Random Dirt. Check him out on Instagram. He's got some really cool things going on. Sent me some free samples of their powder coating, and did some work doing a rainbow bridge. I'll show you that. So what powder coating is, if you're looking for interesting, unique things to put on your guitar, or modify your existing things, I got him to get this Wilkinson bridge, very normal, boring bridge, powder coat it in black, and they are excellent bridges, by the way. They really work well, and then rainbow these things. Now, this is a concept that I had in my mind for a long time, inspired by a Radiohead album called In Rainbows. I wanted to make a phantom, or a sort of Vox shaped thing, and then have like a sort of black metal top to it, and then have like sort of influences of rainbows, so that rainbow bridge, and then sort of very subtle other ones, maybe like a stripe down the middle, like a kind of Pink Floyd / Radiohead kind of vibe. I really like to be influenced by music, because I make guitars for people who play along to guitar music. So when I'm making something like that, I'm thinking about how the music would be embodied in a guitar, and so on. So that was cool. So now I can get like a flame maple neck on the go for him. I just need to planer thickness it and use my planer for the first time. So yeah, to cut a long story to this point, new phone, new technology, new upgrades to the workshop that you haven't seen properly yet, but I will take you around. New relics that have been released. Check out the Instagram, follow the Instagram, follow on Facebook, and follow on YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm going to be showing off lots of cool things coming up this year. We've got lots of commissions. We've got noisemaker relics that are in the works, and Fender bodies and custom things, and scratch build guitars, and general luthiery nonsense and practice, and it will be great to have you around, because it does get quite exciting sometimes. Obviously it's slightly less exciting when I'm talking for 12 minutes and 34 seconds on a Monday afternoon after having cut my hand, ruined a piece of work, and using a handsaw to do something that should take 10 minutes on a table saw. But this is why we're here, for strange happenings.